All right, we're live. All right, everybody. I am live here with another amazing story. I'm here with Mahmoud. We call him Mood. I've known him for a little while. I met him at Regions Bank. We used to work together, and I thought that his story would be an inspiration to many other people, as with some of the other folks I've had on here who have literally come to America. The coming to America and obtaining the American dream story. I mean, what Mood has been able to do with his life and be able to come here, and the message he's been spreading as far as hope and unity and everything else. I mean, it's been an inspiring story, and I really thought that everyone really needed to get to know you and get to know your story, because I think in today's world we hear all the negativity all the time, and the American dream is lost and these kind of things, and I just wanted to highlight you and say, actually, it's not. And there's people out there, if you're willing to go for it, you're the example. And so I wanted to introduce the world to you, my two followers, so they could see and meet you and hear your story, because you wrote a book about your story. The $31 from dishwashing to Wall Street, and yes. So just jump right in and introduce yourself and kind of tell your story a little bit.
Well, thanks, George. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm honored, because when it comes from someone who have known you over the years, you've seen me years ago, and our friendship, regardless of us switching companies and switching banks, but we stayed in connect. We met face to face. We check it in each other family. So when it comes from someone like you who actually saw me for years, okay, growing up, it means the world to me. Okay, you're not someone who just read a post online and he liked, or just read a book and he liked. You actually know me in person. And I really appreciate that. Like you said, my name is Mahmoud Al-Awadi. I'm originally from Egypt. People call me Mood, like good mood, bad mood, and that's pretty much what everyone know me by. My mom called me Mood because I always put her in a good mood after a long day at work. So that goes to my mom. She get the credit for the name. But man, like you said, the American dream is still alive. And the day that the American dream will die is the day that we don't have a country, period. Is the day that when you see people leaving the USA, and when you start seeing people leaving America and going somewhere else in millions, just like you see them coming today in millions, right then is your sign that the American dream is dead. But that day happened, and I pray to God it will never happen for my kids, your kids, for the next generation and the generation after. We are living in the greatest country in the world, and we are the envy of the world, and we are the last place stand, like Ronald Reagan said, when it comes to the free world.
Yes, I know. I love that quote from him, and when it's just been inspiring to see how people come here and see the opportunity. And I love the immigration story, because we're a country of immigrants, and I love the story of people seeing the opportunity and coming here. And you're right, absolutely right. So many people are literally dying to come here, and if we do see the fact that people leave, then that would be your big indicator.
That would be your sign.
That's your sign. So, but we're not seeing that, and we're seeing people like yourself coming over, and the unity message that you spread. You're Muslim American, and I love the story of how you connect it with all religions, and you connect everybody together, because we're all together as one family. And I've learned a lot from your posts, and learned a lot from you personally on the diversity of all religions in the world, and just by stuff that you post out there. And I like that you're able to break through anybody's, some of the hate stuff you see out there, and all the stereotype stuff. You're able to break through a lot of that stuff with the way you've been able to post and things that you say, and things that because when you go live, you get a lot of folks on your lives that watch you. So you've got a lot of influence on folks. So I want to commend you on that, because it's really neat to see that, and to see how people can, learn more from each other and understand more from each other.
And it's the truth, think about it. Okay, you're Joy, you're in Gainesville. I'm Mahmoud, I'm in Orlando. What's really our goals in life? We want to take care of our family, we want to secure their future, we want to protect our freedom, we want to live comfortably, we don't want to live in fear. We want this country to keep being the greatest country on earth, and we all pray to the same God. So we all have the same goals. It doesn't matter where you're sitting, it doesn't matter what your color, it doesn't matter what's your religion. If I ask anyone what's your goals in life, they will be the same exact goals. Okay. So we are united. The one thing that actually break through us is nothing but the media. And the media is focusing on creating hate and fear because, when you divide, you conquer. It's
Yeah.
easier this way. It's
Yeah.
much easier. And I have a lot of my clients and a lot of my friends, they're like, what's your business with all of this? It's none of your business what's happening, between different races or different colors or and I'm like, what do you mean it's not my business? This is my country. This is my home. This is where I'm raising my kids. This is where I'm earning my, income and living. And this is the least I can do. If every one of us will be quiet, then the only voice out there is the media, and the media, people forget that it doesn't matter actually which country you are. It doesn't matter where you are, but the media is TV channels that is owned by investors, and these investors are human beings who have their own personal agenda and their own ideology and their own beliefs, and they're gonna use this outlet to push it on the people. It's just normal. It's business, and it's dangerous. That
Yeah.
the Yeah.
Yeah. It's money. I mean, bottom line, it's ratings and money, and that's where the advertising's at. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way it works. And the more information, as you step away from getting influenced by negative media, and you step away and you just kind of have your own, you can do your own research and your own thoughts. There's enough information out there to decipher through all of the negativity and stay positive and see what the good is. And that's the things that I've seen out of you, is you've been able to point out, like, look, here's the positives of our country. Here's the positives of these things. I mean, you came here. Did you go? Did you originate when you came to the United States? Did you go to New York? Is that where you ended up first?
California,
California.
Anaheim. Yep. LA. Yeah.
And so
So
you were a dishwasher, right?
yes, I was. In Ocala, on 200 Ocala, Florida,
Gotcha. So
in
you
Ocala.
came into California.
So I came to California to take my CPA exam. Okay, I got my CPA exam, took it in Anaheim, the convention center in Anaheim, California, and then took the bus for 3 days and 18 hours all the way to Ocala, Florida. And when I made it to Ocala, I'll tell you what, this was my first encounter, let's say, with racism in America, because I wanted to take the train, but the gentleman wouldn't sell me the train ticket after he saw my passport. And he's like, we're full. But the people in the line were fighting for me. They didn't know me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know who I am. But they were telling him, this is wrong. We know you have tickets. Why are you treating him this way?
Yep.
And then they told me to take the bus. And make it to Ocala, and my first job was the dishwasher right there across from the Region Bank in 200. I was right there in that little strip plaza and little restaurant, family restaurant, as a dishwasher. Yes.
I know, right? I know, right where you're at. Yeah. And that's the thing too. When you say there, people were fighting for you. That's the
Yes.
beauty in this country. Even
Yes.
though there is this element of racism in the country, which
Yes.
isn't all around the world too, I've seen. But in our country, the ability way our country's set up is we have the ability to fight that. We have
Yes.
the people who stand up against that and fight against that. And it's been something, the way our founding was set up has set our country up to be able to fight that. And that's the beauty of how we're structured. So I like to hear that people fought for you right from the beginning. They fought for you
Yes.
to get there.
And listen, racism is a trait in human beings. So within the same family, there is racism. Okay, within the same city, within the same religion, whether it's the same group, within the same color, there is racism. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you're in Japan or in US or Russia or South Africa or England or Asia. It doesn't matter. Okay, we this is one of the bad qualities, just like lying, just being violent, just being aggressive. It's a bad quality in very few, and we have to make sure it's in very few because if it was the majority, we would be gone long time ago. We would be done. But for that one man in the train station, there was 15 people fighting him.
Yeah.
And this is why, and same thing happened to me in Okada with my first haircut. My first haircut, like not my second, not my third, my first haircut. I walk into a salon and he shaved my head, shaved my head. Okay, and I'm like, why? Why? He's like, white people are not allowed here. I'm like, my name is Mahmoud. I'm from Africa. I'm from Egypt, man. Why are you shaving my head for? So it doesn't matter the color, it doesn't matter the education, it doesn't matter even the wealth status, how much money. It's a bad quality. It exists in very few people, but in no way or mean it should be the reason to destroy our beautiful country. It actually should be the reason, the fire to help you. To when I was at the convenience store for 3 years, I was called sand nigger. I was called get the F out of here. I was called better go back to your country or I'll put a bullet in your head. Non-stop, right?
Hmm.
Painted on the wall, painted outside the store, they painted. Police came. I had to send my son to Tennessee for a couple of weeks, worried about his safety. But when the hurricanes came in '05, remember Charlie and
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
the three hurricanes that came nonstop to Central Florida, and those people came to my house. After we boarded the store, I closed the store. I went home. I was living by myself, and they come and say, "Listen, like we really need stuff for our kids." And at that time, it was that bad that Walmart was closed, Publix was closed, everything was closed. Power lines were down. We had the National Guards in the streets, and I went and I opened the store. I was there for 3 days, and once they get to see the true me, same people who threatened me become my best friends and clients till today.
Yeah. But you woke
People,
you enlightened them. Some people need just to be enlightened on
yes,
humanity, and they're leaning. Some of them are leaning on their ignorance and their racism to be able to make instant judgments and not understand the actual person. And when people, and what you did was show your true character instead of just getting angry and resentful and hateful. You took the high road and was able to enlighten people's mind and show them that you're a person, not a race, not a religion. You're who you are, and that's the thing that as this country is continually to evolve. That's what people have to learn, is not to put people in boxes, not to generalize. My wife is awesome at telling everybody that not to put a group into a box and generalize. It's all individual, and and that was great that you were able to show that. And you were at the convenience store for, you said, 3 years.
3 years. Yeah.
And then from there, is that when you ended up into the bank?
So while I was working at the convenience store, so everything happened for a reason, right? Everything is connected. So right when I was working at the convenience store, I kept on applying for jobs in Ocala. I was in Florida City, which is by Inverness, in Bushnell, and I didn't have any job offerings for God knows, like for 3 years, two and a half. And then in one day, I had three job offerings. It was Singular, then AT&T. Remember
Yeah.
Singular in
Yeah.
Ocala? It was Pep Boys in Ocala, and then it was back then AIM South Bank regions,
And south.
like
Yep.
AIM South Bank in Inverness. And I went to the three interviews, and look, when God has a plan, God has a plan. 2.5 years, no job offering. One day, three job offers. Same day, three interviews. I got all three jobs offer. All three. Singular, give me a job. Pep Boys, give me a job. And AIMSide, give me a job as a peak time teller. And my best advisor and my mentor, my dad, may his soul rest in peace. He's the one that I always went back to asking him for an advice. And he was like, where you see yourself. You went to school to be in a financial institution. I know the money is more in Singular, the money is more in Pep Boys, it's more hours, but the future is what you're looking for. So I took the peak time teller in the bank. And right then, when I was at the bank, if you remember, I started May 2nd, 2005. I'll never forget that date. And I started there, and they were like, so what should we call you? Mahmoud, Mood. So they put Mahmoud, and people will be at the teller line forgetting about their transaction and trying to pronounce my name. I'm like, just call
Yeah.
me Mood,
Yeah.
actually. Hey, bud,
Say hey to me.
how are you?
He's on break from
Uh,
his class. Go ahead. Keep
and
going.
no, and then there was a big push in opening a checking accounts at that time, trying to get more clients. So because of what happened with the hurricanes and how I built really strong relationship with the people, I was taking the checking account applications, going to the convenience store, because I'll open the store at 7 a.m. The owner come at 9.
Mm-hmm.
I will cook the chicken and stuff for the deli quick, go to the
Right.
bank at 10 and work till 2 hours, the lunch boy. 4 days a week, 4 hours, lunch boy. And then I'll go to the bank and then come at 2 o'clock and work till 10 p.m. every day.
Yeah.
That was a very simple schedule. And because of that relationship, I was the number one teller opening checking accounts. Okay.
Leading
And
the way. They
and
like
they
that.
start seeing the numbers, yes, and now my clients at the store are my clients at the bank, and they could see like I can actually refer them to mortgage. I can actually refer them to Garrett Saddam. He was the financial advisor of them. I'll send him to Garrett.
Yep.
So they're like, okay, come on, be a banker now. We think that you'll do great. I remember the day when they told me you can be a banker. I actually left my drawer, my teller drawer, open with the money, and I ran outside the bank. And they had to call me and say, "You need to come back. The money's out here." I just didn't believe it. Like I'm actually gonna sit in a desk, you
Yeah.
know.
No longer
And
standing.
from a banker, I kept working at the convenience store till an assistant bench manager, till I became a bank manager. This is when I quit working in gas stations and convenience store because I had the weekend. I was a single dad. I needed to save every penny I can for my son. I had
Yep.
no family here. There's no one here but me and my son. So I took I'll tell you, I'll take advantage of the opportunities that only this country will allow you to have. Is you want to have 2 jobs, you want to have 3 jobs, you want to have 4 jobs, go ahead, please. I'll tell you that 90% of the world don't have the option to even get a single job. Okay, if
Yeah.
you have one job, you are lucky. Okay, so imagine having 2 jobs. I know people complain that they have to have 2 jobs to make it, but I tell them, I promise you, there's a lot of people around the world that they would love to have that option. They just don't have it. So
That's
be
true.
grateful that it's actually available for you to have a second job, you know?
I
So
it is. Yeah, and I know when we traveled abroad, we saw that it's shocking. I mean, even as simple of something as mowing the sides of the roads wasn't done. The roads are overgrown, and we just even thinking of just how we drive, and yeah, you just don't even see that. So yeah, and so you were able to. So you're finally able now to work one job as the branch manager.
no. Oh, you
You
mean
did
at the
too?
bank? Oh,
Yeah.
you mean at the bank? Yes, I did work as one job at the bank manager, but I became a bank manager on April 17, 2017. And I remember when I opened the branch in Mount Dore, okay, and
No.
then Mount Dore, and they told me, you're in the middle of the quarter, you're not gonna have, quarterly goals. I'm like, no, I want quarterly goals. And that branch had my assistant was from Ohio, Iowa, and then I have Mauricio from Colombia. I have Stacy from Alabama. I have Connie from the Caribbean. I have Teja from India. Uh, they called us the United Nation branch because if you need translation for any language, call Mount Dora. We will have someone who speak that language for you. But that diversity is what actually made that branch number one branch within 6 months in 2,000 branches for regions.
Yeah.
And they blowed all the numbers away. And we were right in the middle of the merger. I remember we had region color, aim south, colors. It was just a mess, but it didn't matter because the diversity is what actually America was built on.
Yeah.
And at that time, uh, I was 27 years old. And you're talking like I was managing people who are 10, 15, 20 years older than me, but age didn't matter. The accent didn't matter. The religion didn't matter. The background didn't matter. What really mattered was how are you working with your team as a team and how you're actually using that diversity in the language, in the background, and getting more business, breaking through more communities,
Hmm.
okay, and doubling, tripling, quadrupling your goals. Uh, and I remember when I went to the bank managers meeting and everyone was like, how are you doing it? I'm like, really simple. You guys are working 40 hours. You're going home. I'm working 80 hours. So if you produce $1, I'm going to produce two. It's not
Yep.
about smart or anything. It's about how much you put in. And again, only America capitalism actually do this. I had this discussion yesterday with 15 guys. We talk about socialism versus capitalism. I'm like, you have to understand that only capitalism will pay you for your hard work. It's that simple, okay?
Hmm.
And I have yet to hear about a family running away from capitalism, but I hear a lot of people around the world running away from socialism. So till you prove me wrong, show me a different number, then I might listen to you. So I did work as a bank manager one job, but I put 80, 90, 100 hours a week in that job.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. It's like two jobs basically once you're doing that.
pretty much, pretty
And
much.
that, like you said, to say the United Nations branch you guys had is a great example of the diversity in our own country, and that is what gives us that strength.
Yes,
Because of the diversity to be able to um, bring and multiculturalize, and that's the beauty of it. And what I that's why I like to highlight. And that's why I like to highlight people like yourself is because I want to keep bringing this to people's forefront of attention and not let the negativity or the closed mindedness of folks to understand that this is what the greatness of this country is the
yes.
ability to do this. And from there they I think then they reckon then you moved into investments from that point, correct?
Yes, and I moved to investments in June 2008 when everyone told me I'm crazy. At that time, I had six-figure salary. I was the highest paid manager. I was making more money than my area manager then, actually. And everyone told me you're crazy. Like, who goes to investment? Like in 2008, June 2008, when everyone is running away. And I'm like, but this is the opportunity. I'm a contrarian. Okay, I see where people are running and I run the other direction. And they told me I'll be crazy to do it, and I did it. And they even had the option salary plus lower commission or higher commission and no salary. And I took the option with no salary. I'm like, I'm gonna have to hunt. I'm gonna have to feed my son, feed myself, and failure is not gonna be an option. And thank God, like I think this was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because that's when we connected. I remember you came through our branch, and I was on the mortgage side, and we were referring back and
Mm.
forth, and so that and you impressed me. I was like, man, this guy's awesome. I love this guy. Every time you come, it was great.
Thank
And
you, man.
yeah, it was like I love Mood, and everybody did. Everybody. I mean, everybody. When you were when you were assigned to us, I remember, April and everyone else, was like, and Ruse and uh, Jessica. They were all like, yeah, Mood, you're gonna love him. And we all connected, and it was like, man, it was just we had a good group, man. We really did. That was a good group of
We
people.
did, and I'm still connected to every single one of them. Every single one of them, man. From like you said, Jessica and Stacy and Ruse and April. I was just talking to April yesterday.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm with you. And Didi, I was talking to Didi the day before.
Yeah.
I don't lose. I just posted that. Oh, you don't really lose friends. If you lose someone, you lost a hater. Someone who was
Yeah.
undercover hater. He was never a friend to start with. But
That's true.
those people, I tomorrow. What's the today's Friday, Tuesday. I'm actually the BBC had contacted me and they picked me with two other immigrants and they're gonna do a documentary about us in the U.S. and they're gonna be spending the whole day with us, and where we started the convenience store, the bank. I'm gonna, have dinner with them here with the family. I'm gonna take them hunting. We're gonna go play soccer at night just to
Nice.
see how they. And I keep saying it. I can't thank everyone. See, anyone who tell you he did it in his own is full of shit.
Yeah.
Because no one can do it on his own. Okay, unless you are the only one who live in that village, then you have no choice but to do it in your own. But no one can do it without the help of people around him, without the support of those who see something good in him and they give him a hand, and those who challenged him, and those who try to prove him wrong, and those who put him down. They are also a big part of his success. It's not just the positive, but the negative also is a huge part of your success. One will give you the pat in the back and give you the assurance you're doing something right, and one will be the fire that keep fueling you, keep going nonstop. And both of them, you can't live with one of without the other. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, and it's the, and the drive that you have yourself, and that draws people to you is that, I mean, shoot, I feel good. I caught you before you did BBC got you. I mean, but the BBC has recognized what you've been able to do, because there's a really amazing story there. And I just think that again, I circle back. That's the reason I try to highlight folks that I see that are doing good for the community as a whole. I mean, your message has always been, for the community as a whole. I mean, you got national attention when you were giving blood for what was
In
that for?
2016 for the
Yeah.
Pulse shooting,
Yes.
the Orlando shooting.
Yeah. So you were showing unity and in going against uh, some ignorance and stuff by showing that we're all in this together and all of our blood is the same. And you got a big
Yes.
you got a lot of attention over that, and so but that's your message, and that's what I really like is that you really putting it out there and you're really getting a good following on that kind of stuff. And it's because it's engaging people, and people are are listening. And I see more positive than negative. I mean, I know you've had some negative people come at you about certain things, but you you keep your message clear and straightforward, and that I think has resonated with the majority. And I just think that it's been going great. And you, again, I mean, and you're so family oriented, and I love like I follow you on Facebook to keep up with everything you're up to. And when I've been able to go to Orlando, I try to reach out to see if we can connect. But it's just been it's just been a neat journey to watch, and it's I'm in the background just cheering you on the whole time for your next thing. What's the next thing? Like I just said before we
Joe,
started
I
our,
can't hear you.
you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Let me see.
I
Make sure I didn't
Can
accidentally
you
mute.
hear me? Because I can't
I can
hear
hear
you.
you. Did you lose me? Unmute.
No.
So not sure if people lost me. Let's see my connection.
Okay,
So
I can tell you can hear me, right?
yep, I can hear you.
But I can't hear
Can't
you.
hear me. So
Nothing. Uh-uh.
let me do this.
None.
I will see if I.
But if you can hear me, I really want to tell you thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening to me. thank you for giving me the message that those who know me for years know that I've been stating my message and how much I care about this country and how much I care about my friends and my family and this community. And, with God's will, we're not going to stop, you know, till we make this a better place for you kids, for my kids, for every kid in this country. Thank you, my friend.
That's awesome. And
Thank
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm gonna say bye too, and mood for president, and we're gonna wrap it up.